What's good, y'all? Rich Sosa back in the building with another banger, man. So first things first, I gotta go ahead and say thank you, God, for giving me this opportunity. Thank y'all, the Rich Gang family, for continuously showing y'all support and showing out. But man, y'all already know what y'all need to do. Be sure to hit that sub button if you're new. Go ahead and turn on post notifications so you don't miss an upload because I'm uploading bangers every single day. Be sure to hit that like button as well as drop a comment down below. And I most definitely got y'all with a response. Now, today, I'm bringing y'all the top 3 best big man build, and this is going to be out of the center as well as the power forward position. All of these builds are going to be getting over 100 badges, and you're going to be able to take them into any game mode, y'all. So let's go ahead and get started with this first one. We're actually going to go ahead and put this build to 6'9". When it comes down to the weight, I decided to go with 215. That's the perfect one for me. And then for the wingspan, I feel like 7'5" is really going to be the wave. Now, let's go ahead and get into the breakdown of what this build is going to look like on the finishing side of things. As you can see, I'm not really going to talk about the stats too much when it comes down to the numbers, but you will be able to get pro contact dunks on this build. 29 badges for the finishing, y'all. A lot of Hall of Fame. And then when it comes down to the shooting, you're still going to be able to shoot at ease anywhere on the floor, especially if you end up buying boost as well. Now, so far, looking so good. 29 finishing badges, 22 shooting. Let's go ahead and get into the playmaking. I know a lot of people who make big men do not tend to put anything into the playmaking, but for this build, we're actually going to, as you can see, 19 badges, and if you end up picking the correct takeover, buy boost as well as run with a teammate that has Hall of Fame floor general, you're going to be able to speed boost with this build at 6'9", which makes it even better, and you're still able to dribble with that 76 ball handle. Now, 19 badges, I'm happy with that. When it comes down to the defensive end though, 27 defensive badges. The physicals are most definitely going to be on point. And then remember, you're also getting a +8 badges to this build as well. 4 from the college championship or rebirth, and then another +4 from completing each season, y'all. Now, this is only the first build that I got lined up for y'all. So if you like this one, go ahead and let me know in the comment section. Let me know what you think about it. I got 2 other builds ready for y'all. Also, one will be out of the power forward and then one more out of the center. I'm telling you, I had to go ahead and grab all 3 of the best big man build. Wanted to make them versatile because I know everybody has their own play style as well as their own taste with what they want to do. Now, if you feel like changing anything about this build, whether it be the height, weight, or wingspan, the stats itself, or even the takeover, or even the physicals, y'all, you definitely can't do that. It just comes down to what you want to do. As long as you come out happy with how the build made, I'm telling you, everything is going to be working out in your favor, and that's all you got to worry about, y'all. Now, for these takeovers, as you can see, we get the post scoring, rim protecting, a lockdown takeover with that playmaking. So if you get the playmaking in takeover, you're going to be able to speed boost. That's all you need to worry about. However, if you end up going with a post scoring and even a defensive one, that's going to make this build just so much more unique. Again, it all comes down to how you see yourself using this build. The good thing is we're going to be able to change our takeovers at any time we want. I'm going to go with the lockdown rim protecting as well as the playmaking. And as y'all can see, the 2-way mid-range specialist build out of the center position, which makes it even better. And then on top of all that, we get comparisons of Karl-Anthony Towns, Bam, and then we also get Anthony Davis. Now let's go ahead and get into the second build that I got lined up for y'all. Y'all know that I cannot leave these stretch bigs out of this without saying that this is a top 3 best big man build. Y'all most definitely know when it comes down to some of the best big men, a lot of them happen to be stretch bigs. But this one, I made it a mix of a couple different builds. The 2-way, skilled, stretch 4. Then we also get the glass cleaning takeover, which is going to make this build all around just a much better make. Now, if you're still watching, let me know what you think about this build so far. I'm telling you, another build with over 100 badges. Gonna be a big man as well, but this one is gonna be a little bit better all around in my opinion because of the height that we make it at. So let's go ahead and get started. Put this build under the power forward position. That is essential when it comes down to it. Now, when it comes down to the height, weight, and wingspan, I know we just went with 6'9", but you want to go with 6'8" for this build. That's how it's going to work out in your favor. I promise you, this is the absolute best height that you can go with for this build. Now, if you feel like one with 6'9" or anything higher, you definitely can do that. Again, I'm just trying to lead y'all in the right direction. Now, when it comes down to the weight on this build, you want to go ahead and put it to 219. Then, when it comes down to the wingspan, I really feel like 7'2" is going to be the absolute best one that you can go with as well, to pair it up with the height as well as the weight. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at what this build is going to be looking like. As you can see, with that driving dunk, that means we're going to be able to still get the pro contact dunks. But when it comes down to this side of the ball, you really got to be careful with which badges that you pick to put on, y'all. That's going to make a huge difference. More importantly, because we're getting 21 out of this build, but that means we're probably going to be even better out of the shooting. And as you can see, we most definitely are. 26 shooting badges, but the stats are even higher on this one when it comes down to the three-pointer. Then with the free throw, that's much higher as well. You get some good wealth out of the shooting and the finishing on this build, which is why I really had to put it in here. But we're still not done. We got the playmaking and the defensive to worry about as well. And I'm telling you, the more that you continue to follow along, the better the builds are going to get, especially when it comes down to the top 3s, top 5, and top 10 videos. Y'all most definitely know that I'm only bringing y'all these fire builds. So as you can see right here, 20 playmaking badges, and remember, you're also getting a +8 to each of these builds if you completed each season, but at least +4 because of the rebirth, or you can call it because of the college championship. Now, let's go ahead and move on from the playmaking into the defensive end. As you can see, we get so many defensive badges on this build. You'll be able to get 40+, which makes it even more mind-blowing of a build to me. Now, as you can see, 33 badges, y'all. You can get so much potential out of this build, especially when it's going to be used in the right hands. This all just comes down to how you see yourself using this build, but also when it comes down to what game mode you're going to be using it in. There's going to be so many different things that you're able to do out of this build. Now, when it comes down to the physicals, just be sure that you're maintaining the vertical that I did put on here, because you do not want to miss out on the pro contact dunks on this build. Going to be very well worth your time trying it. I'm telling you, these things, when it comes down to it, adding animations makes all the difference when it comes down to not only this position and this build, but any one out of them all. That is something that I always take into consideration. The more animations you're able to unlock, the better. So again, why not go ahead and try it yourself? Now, as you can see, with the takeovers, we do get the sharpshooting, lockdown, rim protecting, and then we also get the glass cleaning. Now, just remember, all of these, when it comes down to picking the takeover, is all based out of my own preference, but also with what the build is going to be able to do extra. So, for me, if you want to go ahead and be more of a lights out shooter, I would highly recommend picking the limitless range takeover. However, you can always double up on the defensive one. That is another way that you can go about it. Again, this all just comes down to what you want to do, the way you see yourself using this build, as well as what you feel like is going to put you in the best possible position to win. And as y'all can see, we have made the two-way skilled stretch 4 a perfect Draymond Green build. I like the comparisons, especially with the way that we made the build. Gonna be perfect all around. Gonna be able to dribble, guard any position 1 through the 5, and on top of all that, the offense and as well as the defensive end on this build are very balanced. You're gonna be able to do a little bit of everything, which is my best favorable build out of the 3. But as you can see, when it comes down to the last one, a straight demigod big man. The two-way, 3-level scorer coming out of the center position. 7'1", I'm telling you, this one is going to be straight up of a more strictly big man type build. Going to remind me of Hakeem Olajuwon, Shaq, all of the greats. Now, let's just go ahead and get into the work of making this build. The first thing that you need to go ahead and do is put this build under the center position. Now, when it comes down to how you're going to make this build, just be sure that y'all follow along with what I show y'all, because I promise you, when it comes down to it, the animations, everything is really going to add up to making this the best big man build in all of 2K on next gen. So, With the height, we're going to be going with 7'1". Then, when it comes down to the wingspan, I decided to go ahead and put it to 7'8". I believe you can go higher if you want to. Again, this is just my preference. And then for the weight, 290 is going to be perfect. Now, when it comes down to the finishing end, as you can see, we're going to be able to get up to a 99 close shot with boost and all that things taken into consideration when it comes down to running with teammates that do have floor general as well. We're going to get 23 badges out of this area. Then when it comes down to the shooting, we're going to be able to get 23 badges as well. Very solid lineup, especially if you know what you are doing out of this build and you know how to play big man. This is going to be the perfect center position for you. Then when it comes down to the last couple of categories, playmaking and the defensive are going to be essential when it comes down to this build. So as you can see, I put it on to where we're still going to be able to get bullet passer 10 badges out of the playmaking. But when it comes down to the defensive end, here is where things are getting even better. So really quick, you have the assurance of being able to finish anywhere on the inside, shoot lights out, and then play elite defense, which in my opinion makes this the all-around best big man build that you can use. Now, if you feel like making any adjustments, go ahead and do it on your own time, but just remember, you might change up the build name. Now, when it comes down to the physicals, the only thing I'm worried about is the speed, strength, and then the stamina as well as the vertical. This is what the build is going to be looking like, and remember, you also get a +8 badges if you have completed each and every season. But this is pretty much how the build is going to go. Again, I like it, especially out of all three. This is going to make them even better to top it off. Now, we got the takeovers to pick. This all comes down to your personal preference. But again, I just want you to know that I appreciate y'all. I love y'all and I thank y'all. And man, y'all already know what y'all need to do. Be sure to hit that sub button if you're new. Go ahead and turn on post notifications as well as hit that like button. Go ahead and drop a comment, and y'all most definitely know that I got y'all with a response. I got to go ahead and say thank God for giving me this opportunity. Thank y'all for showing out and showing through. Here's the 2-way 3-level score. And man, with all that being said, I got one last thing to say. Thank God and Rich out.